Okay. Alright. Off to work again. I want to keep this one a little bit short because I like my car drives and my peace and quiet. And yapping gets a bit under my skin sometimes, but is what it is. You read the title. If you are not making mistakes, you're doing something wrong. And I believe this is important to understand because in order to get anywhere valuable, you've got to take certain risks. And those certain risks are you're going to make mistakes. Say, like, for example, when you are first learning how to drive, I know, especially me, in my manual car, the amount of times I stalled that car on my first drive, every time I stopped, I stalled the car. And it wasn't good. I don't enjoy making that many mistakes, but it was a learning curve that I had to experience. And so I eventually figured it out, got used to managing the clutch, and now I can drive manual pretty well. I won't say I'm great at it, but and that's a bit of an irrelevant example, but you kind of get the idea. Anything that's worth doing is going to be difficult, and especially if you are not very good at it, and which you won't be at the start. If you're new, you're going to make mistakes. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, it's actually good that you're making mistakes, because making mistakes is a sign of learning. As long as you are not discouraged by making mistakes and understand that everyone who was ever good at anything made mistakes at those things. And I see a lot of people who have make this excuse. I spoke about it in the last video, making excuses, but that I don't want to mess up. If you have that mentality, you will never take a risk. You'll miss out on so many opportunities. You'll miss out on all these things. It's just you're just putting yourself at such a disadvantage by not choosing to take a risk, to try things. And so many people believe that they're going to mess up and that people are going to get mad at them. Especially if you're brand new to something. Like, there's going to be people teaching you how to do it, and they expect you to make mistakes. Like, working a new job and you're still learning how to do it, how to do whatever, you're going to make mistakes. It just is what it is. And as a person who is trying to teach someone new, you understand that. And obviously there's a certain way to mitigate mistakes, but you got to expect that they're going to make mistakes because they're new. They're still figuring it out. And most of the time, people teaching understand that you're going to make a mistake, and so you can't be discouraged by the fear of making mistakes and pissing people off, or costing people something. Say, for example, in my job that I'm going to now, this is still a new job, and I'm a waiter, so taking orders and all that, and I'm still learning how to take orders and how to put them in the machine, and how to read orders and taking it out and all that kind of stuff. And on one of my first shifts, it was really busy, and people didn't actually. There wasn't someone always able to stand next to me and make sure I was doing it right. So naturally, I made mistakes. I doubled up on an order, and so the kitchen made 2 of the exact same order, and then no one knew who it was meant to, where it was meant to go, because the table who the food was for already had their food. And so, but no one got mad at me, because again, it was my second shift, and I don't let mistakes discourage me or make me feel bad. Like, yeah, obviously I apologise for making a mistake, because I never intended to double charge, and it's going to be probably some of those dishes were thrown out. I don't remember, but yeah, it is what it is. And employers and people understand that. Yeah. It can be very discouraging, especially if there's some stakes on the line. Say for example, I mean, there's not probably many of you, but in professional sports, if you're just on the cusp of making it in professional sports and someone gives you an opportunity, you do not want to make a mistake, because that could potentially mean you don't get another game, or you don't get to play, you sit on the bench. But in doing that, you are you're overclouding your thoughts and stressing too much about trying to on focusing on the things not to do, rather than doing the things that you are good at and what to do. And you see a lot of sports players who are so worried about not making a mistake because there's so much pressure to do well. And making mistakes may mean, you may fuck up, and it may cost the team a game. And obviously, yeah, there's stakes on the line, but if that team didn't select you for no reason, and they obviously saw something in you that they liked, and if they're willing to select you, they're willing to live with mistakes you make. Now, obviously, that's not always the case in professional sports, but most of the time, they're willing to live with you going through a down period or whatever. But they're going to keep persisting with you until you've had ample chance to prove yourself. And then obviously shit goes whatever. So it's so important that you keep making mistakes. Now, don't go out and be an idiot and just do dumb shit, but keep trying things and keep experimenting and learning what you do and don't like, and what you are and aren't good at, and all that stuff. Learn new skills, and view mistakes and stuff ups as proof that you are learning and you're getting better at it. Because you're learning, and as you get better, those mistakes will decrease, and it will never decrease to zero, but because everyone's human and we all make mistakes. Anyone who says they're perfect is wrong. I don't give a fuck. But it's never going to be the end of the world if you stuff up. Now, extreme cases, yes. If you kill someone, perhaps your life might be ruined. But again, that's not really a mistake, is it? Assuming it's an accidental mistake, you will be forgiven. So you've got to go out there and achieve your greatest and take every mistake and slip up in your stride. You will be so grateful that you did. And yeah, I think that's about it from me. It's a little bit shorter one, but I just want to reassure some of you who may be worried about starting something new or you know, whatever. That it's okay to make a mistake. It's okay to stuff up, to do something wrong. But, you know, acknowledge it, assess what you did wrong and how to not do it wrong next time, and move forward. The more you dwell on it, the more of a bigger issue it becomes for yourself and others. So just acknowledge it, learn how to fix that mistake for next time, and yeah, just keep grinding, bro. That's about it. Thank you for sticking around. I love yous, and remember, life is what you make it.